And I'm kind of waiting to see if some more people jump on. And we'll get started in a little bit. How's everyone doing tonight? Remember, when we get started, I'm going to give a little information about the pageant, and then we will be going to question and answer. Don't type them yet, but once we open up the question and answer session, you can make sure you are logged in to your YouTube account. If you don't have one, set it up quickly so that you'll be able to be involved in the chat and ask questions. And please invite others. You've got a little bit of time. Go ahead and invite other people to join us. Trying to see if people get logged on. We're going to get started in a few seconds. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. If other people join, I will kind of brief them on what's going on so they can kind of play catch up with us. And if you haven't watched my introductory video, my name is Vanessa King. I am the founder and owner of Queen Nefertiti Productions. We produce Ubuntu Pageants International along with a couple of other pageant systems that I am involved with. I'm actually the founder also of Ubuntu Pageants International, so it is my own creation. Ubuntu Pageants International is a pageant that I started in 2011. I was directing for some other pageant competitions and I was dissatisfied with some things that I saw. And I still continued directing for one pageant that I was already with. And I had a few of my former contestants and future contestants that just, one day just said, you've been doing this for a while, so why don't you start your own pageant system? So that's what I did, and that's how Ubuntu Pageants came about. I actually did a little bit of research, and within 3 days, I had my name of the pageant, what I wanted my foundation to be based on, and only thing I had to do was figure out my age divisions on there. So let me grab my notes here real quick because I can't remember everything. Ubuntu Pageants International. The word Ubuntu is actually an African word originating from the Bantu language that means humanity towards others, and the belief that we are who we you are who you are because of who we are as a people. So I decided to name the pageant based on my personal beliefs and what I wanted would the pageant to benefit all those that are involved with the pageant competition. The mission of our pageant is to build self-esteem, poise, and values in each of our participants in our pageant competition, to be open and available to others, to be affirming of others, to not feel threatened that others are able and good, and to have a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that you are, that you belong to a greater whole and are diminished when others are humiliated or diminished, when others are tortured or oppressed. So my goal with Ubuntu Pageants International is to instill selflessness among Black women and men worldwide and also children through community service, volunteerism, and giving back to the communities. Now, Ubuntu Pageants International, as you probably have read, is a pageant for those of Black heritage from all over the world. You can be any percentage Black to participate in our pageant competition. Each delegate in our divisions for ages 13 and up, we do have teens and several adult divisions. We actually have a total of 17 age divisions. We have 3 male age divisions. Our teen division for males is ages 13 to 18. Then we have our Mr. division, which is age 19 through 35. And then those men who are 36 and older are in our Mr. Elite division. So we have no cutoff age maximum that a contestant can be for our pageant competition. And for our female division, we actually have 14. We have our teen division, which is for ages 13 to 17. Our Miss and Ms. divisions are for ages 18 to 29. The difference between those two is that for our Miss, you must be single, never married, and no children. And for our Ms are for those who are single with children, who are divorced and or widowed. And then we have our, excuse me, our Ms. Lady division, which is for ages 30 through 39. They can be um, single, divorced, and widowed. Our Ms. Elite Lady for ages 40 and up, which are for women that are single, divorced, and widowed also. And then we have our Mrs. divisions, which is for the Mrs. is for women ages 21 through 39 who are married, and our Elegant Mrs. Lady for those who are 40 and up and married. And in each of those female divisions, including our teen division, we have our Elegant division for those who are full figured. And for the teens, that means if you are size 12 and above, and for the women, size 14 and above. Now you can, if you wish, compete in our regular division if you are eligible for the full figure, but some women and teens feel more comfortable competing against others who are they're in their same size ranges on there. Our pageant is focused on community service, so each of our delegates are required to complete at least 15 hours of community service, volunteer service, prior to coming to compete at our pageant. We also have our USA pageants, which will be starting next year, and our Ohio pageant. So we have directors for those. Our USA pageant is directed by one of our former queens, Jocelyn Spivey, who is in the Tampa, Florida area. So that's where our USA competition is held. And then our Ohio pageant is Michelle McClellan. She's in the Toledo area, so our Ohio state pageant will be there. Now, everyone must complete, if you are wanting a USA title, you must compete through the levels or different levels of pageants before coming to the international pageant. So that means if you live in Ohio, you must first compete in the Ohio pageant. And if you win that pageant, you can go on and compete at the USA pageant. And then from the USA pageant, those winners come on to the international pageant. Now, you also do have the option of representing another country, although you are currently residing in the United States, if you have heritage in that country. So that means if you have family that were born in those countries, or if you were born in that country, if family owns property in those countries, or if you have family members who are still currently living in those countries, you can represent those countries on there. So that's what we mean by heritage ties. Uh, so we have several competition categories in addition to our community service. Community service accounts for 15% of your score. So there's various ways to document those community service hours, which means you can post information. We recommend that everyone sets up their page, a Facebook page for their titles so that they can post all their appearances and everything that they are involved in on that page. So it'll be easier for people to find. And that way I can also go onto your pages and see what you're doing, and that way you do not have to track your hours, because I will base the hours based on what type of an appearance that you're doing and your time frame, of course, that you are at that appearance. You can also get a form from me. I can send to you. You can make copies of and give it to someone in the organization to complete for you to verify your hours. But as I said, the community service does count for 15% of your score. So it is imperative that you do complete those hours so that you don't lose any points. So that's an automatic, easy 15 points that you can get towards the competition. Our other competition areas are talent. You are required to do talent for those, the teens and adults. And a lot of people don't think that they have a talent, but everybody is given some type of talent. I always say you have a God given talent, that everyone has one, but you just have to sometimes think about it, because most people consider talent as performing arts talent, which is dance, playing some type of instrument, or singing. But we allow monologues. If you write poetry, you can recite one of your poems or recite a well known poem. You can, I've had in pageants I've completed in, I've had people who were involved in photography. So they did a slide presentation on some of their photographs they have taken. I even had a lady who was an artist, and she brought in a few of her paintings she had done and described the painting, the titles, and what gave her the inspiration to paint that particular piece of artwork. And talent also accounts for 15% of your total score. And other categories would be 20% is based on your interview, 5% is your on-stage introduction, 10% is photogenic. Fitness is also 10% for our fitness competition. You can do swimwear or um, type aerobic type wear, so workout wear. Whatever you feel, we always say whatever you feel comfortable in, you can wear that time. So in the aerobic wear, it can be shorts or the long pants um, for the females. Um, and of course, the males, you can do shorts or long pants. Also, it's up to you. And with the swimwear, if you do swimwear, you can do either a one or a two piece. We also have our evening wear competition. Uh, for females, you have to have a full length gown, and for males, a tuxedo or a really nice suit. So, and we do wish that if you do, the men do wear ties with their suit or tuxes to give yourself a more elegant look. And then the last 10% is ethnic attire, which is African attire. So, you can really find, if you look around, you can find some really nice price African attire that you can wear for the competition. We also do an opening number. I usually have T-shirts with the pageant name thing. I'm going to try to get those this year for everyone. So anyone competing, make sure I do get your T-shirt sizes because we'll have some T-shirts that we will get. And also, I may do the leggings like I did the last time, or in the capri length or long length, or I might just have you wear some type of black pants with those, and some comfortable shoes with that. Of course, if you do the capris or the leggings for the women, you can wear tennis shoes with those, preferably white tennis shoes on there so that everyone will be uniform for the opening number. I haven't decided yet what our opening number will be. We have done African dance in the past, and we've done other type of jazz. One year we did, and I can't even remember what I did the other years, but we do some little easily learned dance number. With all the pageants I've held so far, people have usually learned the opening number within a couple of hours. So it's nothing really difficult, no hard steps. We make it simple for people who don't consider themselves as dancers so that they can catch on to the steps also. Now, in addition to our teen and our adult divisions, we also have our Batibi Princess and Ade Prince program for children ages 2 through 12. 2 to 3 year old is our mini princesses and princes, and then the 4 and up would be the regular princess and prince program. Um, each child participating in that does receive a crown and sash. Um, they can compete in talent if they wish for fun, which doesn't cost any additional to the fees. And then for one of our Princes and Prince Talent Awards, we have three, those into three different age groups that we do our talent award for our princesses and princes. And as I said, for fun, for free, so just to be on the stage doing some type of talent, you can do it for free at no cost, or for one of the talent uh, for an additional fee. Now, thinking of fees, um, the entry fee for our adults is $499. That covers your entry into all the pageant competitions, your T-shirt, or whatever I use for our opening number. As I said, most likely are going to do T-shirts this year to have the tops uniform, and then decide on what um, bottom we would wear for the females. The men will, of course, be pants or shorts. Um, and then for our TV Princess and Princes, the basic entry fee for them is $95. Then there's an additional small fee if they want to do talent for the talent award. We also have new this year our head Princess and Prince program. Um, a title, which is an additional fee. Though you will have to be at least age 5 to participate in that, and we have two for ages, one for ages 5 to 8, and then one for ages 9 through 12 for those head princess and princess title. Now, with our TV Princess program, it is a permanent membership, so you don't have to pay any more money if you want to continue doing it every year, as long as you remain active with the pageant. Only additional charge would be if they would happen to break their crown and need to replace it, or if they damage or outgrow their sashes. Of course, if somebody starts in small, you're going to outgrow the sashes as you get older, and you'll need to replace them with a longer sash. So those would be the only additional fees for our princesses and princes every year, as long as they stay active. And as I said, that's only an additional fees if they damage their crown or sash or need to replace the sash that they are outgrown. And also with the princes and princesses, as I said, you remain in that, can remain in it yearly. And for our head princess and prince title, you may compete for that every year. So we will have that competition. Even people who are coming back who already have that spot from previous year have are a member of our Batibi Princes and Ade Prince program. You can compete for the head princess and prince title each year. And that fee is $95 for that. Now, we do offer to discounts on entry fees for both. If you get a $50 off your entry fee for the teens and adults for every person that you refer that competes in their pageant. That is paid once that person you referred has paid their entry fee in full. If we get it in time before the pageant, you will get it prior to coming to a pageant to help cover some of your other expenses. And depending on how late they pay, you may be rewarded with that during your registration at the pageant. And then any princesses or princes, you get $15 for that person. You also get those discounts um, off if you have more than one person in the family competing in the regular competition. That means our teens and our and adult contestants. If more than one in your household, and it has to be in your same household, so you have to be living in the same home, you get $50 each off of your entry fee. And then $15 off for the Batibi Princes. They get that off their entry fee. If they off, you can take that off of your fee or the Batabi Princes and Prince fee for any of those if you are in the same side. We do have had mother and child participating, but not with our princesses. We've had a teen and an adult mother and daughter team compete before in the pageant. So that does help build your fees to help with your expenses on there. Now we do also, some people don't realize, we do, you can earn money to help with your expenses also from selling ads in the program book. You are required to do one ad page um, for everyone competing, the teens and adults 13 and up. You are required to sell one ad page in the program book. But if someone wants to go above and beyond that and earn some additional money, you will be paid commission on any ad sales and also on any um, donations you bring in through the pageant, whether it be just a general donation or if it's a donation from a sponsor. So if once that you'll get a percentage of that sponsorship fee or donation amount that comes in. So those are ways you can earn money to help cover your fees, hotel, travel, etc. Um, the Batavi Princesses can also participate in that, and we do give a special award to both the adult and the princess or prince who bring in the most money through ad sales and financial sponsors and donations. So whoever brings in the most uh, are receive our cover model award, and they will be on the cover of the program book. And also, there's something else I was going to say about earning money. You also, what makes our pageant different from any other pageant I know, the main thing is that you can also, through your ad sales and donations and financial sponsors that you bring in, that means cash sponsors, you can also earn money for your favorite charity to be donated to them. And that happens, we do that donation after the completion of the pageant. So you get a percentage of what you bring in. Well, not only you get a percentage, but actually a percentage will also go to your selected charity. And as speaking of charities, our pageant charity is an organization called Battered Not Broken. It is an organization that assists victims of domestic violence and also survivors. It provides different types of information and resources for you and to raise the awareness of domestic violence so that we can prevent it from happening in the future, so people can recognize the signs and um, help those who have been victims become survivors. For people who don't know me, I am personally a survivor of domestic violence. So that is a cause that is dear to my heart. And a lot of people do not realize what an epidemic that the domestic violence problem is, not just in the United States, but all over the world. So that's some information about our pageant. So I'm looking to see if anybody else has joined. But I don't see anybody who wants to ask any questions that has logged in yet. So I will give a little bit more information that will probably answer some of the questions. The international pageant is held in Columbus, Ohio currently. We hope that once we grow, that we will be able to hold the pageant in other areas or maybe even out of the country. So it depends on how large we get, where we can get that funding to be able to get the pageant moved to another location. So if anybody, that any of our contestants may have ideals of where they would like to see the pageant held, you can always let us know. And that can be something we can think about after doing our discussion on plans for the year for those who win the international title. Now, the dates for the pageant is October 27th and 28th. I haven't gotten the hotel or the venue locked down yet, but I'm still working on that. I hopefully have that done within the next 2 to 3 weeks max. I have looked at a couple of places, but for some reason the people have not gotten back to me when I contacted them to get more information um, to let them know that I am interested, and they haven't gotten back to me. So I'm going to be looking at actually a brand new venue that will be opening up on August 1st, and they will be holding an open house on the 11th. So I'll get a chance to tour the facility to make a final decision. So hopefully that might be done prior to the event, if I can get, once they get everything completed, where I can actually, they have some photos so I can actually see some photos of how the venue looks. But it's a fairly large size facility. I think it will seat 400, around 400 people or so in theater style. So I don't know anything about how their sound system or anything's going to be set up. So that's one thing that I will be finding out on there. So, and also for contestants, though, you will need to arrive on the pageant preferably the night of the October 25th, so that you are ready to go the morning of the 26th, which will be the orientation day. That will be, so the 25th is on Thursday. Um, the 26th is Friday, and of course, the 27th and 28th are Saturday and Sunday. So if you arrive that Thursday on the 25th, you'll be ready for the orientation the morning. On that Friday, the 26th, out in the community, so we can do like a community service project. So I'm checking with a few organizations to see if they have anything going on that day where we can go out and do something. So I don't know how early in the day, if it will be earlier in the day or if it'll be towards the evening to give, because I would like to do something with the youth, so it may be towards late afternoon, early evening, to give the children time to get out of school in order to be able to participate in our community service project. So I like to go to some type of organization that does work with the youth or with women. Um, um, or a shelter, just any place where we can provide some type of service and cheer up people who are involved in that uh, organization. And speaking of community service, one thing that I did forget to mention, um, the contestants for the teens and adults, you do also have to have a community service, your platform for the pageant. For those of you who are new to pageantry and don't know what a platform is a cause or a community service project that you are currently in or want to implement because it's something that's dear to your heart. And I will always tell you to make sure it is something dear to your heart, because that way you can put a lot of your effort into it because it is something you stand for, and that you have a strong belief in. Like with me, mine's is domestic violence, so I use that for my platform. Since I am a survivor of domestic violence, I use that as my platform. So it's domestic violence awareness is actually my full title. So your platform, you need to have your platform statement, which should be in a phrase that mentions your platform, like mine is domestic violence awareness. You can also be a survivor. So it should be something based on whatever that cause that you're standing for and what you are doing or working with in order to work with that cause. Okay, I think that's about it. Nobody has any questions. This video will be available through is taped live, so it will remain on the our YouTube channel page. So people who weren't able to participate in this live information session can also go back and watch it, or if somebody missed a portion of it, you can go back and watch it from the beginning. I just thought of one more thing. Closer to the pageant date, we also do our People's Choice drawing. Our People's Choice votes are $1 a piece. So those votes you can collect and bring them to the pageant and turn the funds in at registration. I also post it online where people, after I get everybody's photos and get them on the website, I do post it online where people can go in and going in and back in, doing one vote at a time. You can always change the vote number um, prior to submitting your amount so that you can get them all in one vote. So there's no limit of how often you can vote, or how many votes you place. So you can place them for one contestant. If you have more than one contestant that you like, you can split your votes up among the various contestants in the pageant. And that is also for our princesses and princes. They are also involved in the People Choice things. So if you have someone who is competing in the pageant, they do have some of those ballots. So to make it easier so that you don't have to write out everyone, you can actually fill out everything on one of them and just fill the name out on the other one, because those will go into the ballot. That way I have that information. So if you aren't at the pageant competition, you will know if you're the winner. Because what we do the contestant who raises the most money through People's Choice, 50% of that goes to the contestant, the other 50% goes to our charity, Battered Not Broken. And then we also draw out of the people who are voting, we draw their name, a name for a person who will win a $50 Visa gift card. So be thinking about that. As I said, all the contestants for the pageant, all our delegates, will have those ballots. So if anybody reach out to them and they can get you those ballots, it is included in their paperwork. And if you have not received your paperwork, or if you have any additional questions, you can always find me on Facebook. Uh, I'm under Vanessa.J.King, as Banessa, if we aren't friends on Facebook yet. And you can also join our group page, which is under www.facebook.com. If you're not on Facebook yet, please set up a Facebook account, because a lot of information is in that our main pageant group on there. So on facebook.com/groups/Ubuntu, which is spelled Ubuntu, and pageants with an S, and INTL for international. So if you go to that, you can request to join our group. If you are become friends with me, just let me know. If you're already friends, I can add you to the group, or you can request to be added. And also with people who I'm not friends with yet, please friend me on Facebook, as I said, because that way you won't miss out any information. I will be doing another session on this Sunday evening at 5 p.m. for those who missed out, who wants to, or if you could come back again on Sunday, if you thought of some questions that you might ask. And remember, in that group also, nobody has done it yet. There is a post that has ask questions here. That way I know what questions people already have, and I can start with them as a basis to start answering the questions, because that way I already know ahead of time some things that I will need to discuss during these live feeds. So as I said, the next one will be this Sunday. So if you missed out, or if you have some questions and you want to join in on that second one, Sunday evening, that's 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because I'm on Eastern Daylight Time still. Um, that will be the time for Sunday for the next live feed. So make sure you do look for the event page. You will find it on my personal page. You will find it in the group, and you will also find it on our Queen Nefertiti Productions, um, our business page on Facebook. So we have several pages, and also I have the pageant business page rather than the pageant group page. But the group page has the most pertinent information for contestants. We also have a group for contestants that includes our princesses and princes. For those who are minors, the parents are also added in the group. So, or if the child isn't on Facebook, the information, there will be information specifically for our contestants and our princesses and princes. There is a separate page, a private page for them, where they'll be able to communicate with each other, um, and get specific information about the pageant that they will need to know as the pageant approaches. So that information will be posted there. And also, you can find our website. It is, if you look on our pages, you will find a lot there in our group page, but it is long, so, and a lot of people can't spell Nefertiti. So it is, but if you, so we have a Wix site, so it's Queen Nefertiti. Nefertiti is spelled Nefertiti. So it's Queen Nefertiti dot Wixsite, WIXSITE.com /Ubuntu Pageants INTL. So it's basically like our Facebook page, instead of spelling out international, abbreviated INTL. So if you go to that website there, that also has information. There is also a link on every page where if anybody wants to support the pageant by making a donation, you can do it through there. And you can also request a sponsor packet if you're interested in sponsoring the pageant, placing ads, making a donation. Some information is all in that packet, in our sponsorship packet, or about becoming a vendor. We, depending on what space I use, we will have at least a couple of vendor spots that will be available, and it will be more if we are able to secure a larger venue where we can have more vendors. So it has all the information, as I said, on sponsoring the pageant, donations. Every donation is considered a sponsor level. So, and the pricing for ads, and all the information on the various sponsorship levels and the vendor information. So that is all in the sponsorship packet, and all the contestants have that packet. It is a fairly long packet. So I have suggested that the contestants um, try to get that submitted via email to whoever you want it to be sent to, so that you don't have to keep printing out a lot of paperwork. Um, so you can just submit that by email, and then it is in then the person receiving it can print up just the pages that they need to fill out for um, registering to advertise or be a sponsor or be a vendor. So those three forms are in there, and also the ad specifications. It has, as I said, that is all in that sponsorship packet. And every contestant who have requested information has done that. And remember, contestants, get your deposits in as soon as possible so that you can secure your titles. That is just basically directed for the teens and adults, because you can't get your crown and sash to start making your required appearances until we have your entry fee paid in full. So at least get that deposit in, the lock in your title. That way you can start making appearances without your crown and sash. But I prefer you to have your fee paid in full so that you can get your crown and sash. I used to give out the crowns and sashes with the deposit, but I had tons of people who end up dropping out, and then I have all those crowns and sashes out there. And although majority of people are honest, there are some dishonest people, and then they get out there and try to say they are competing and they're collecting donations and things and pocketing. So you never know how people are. So just as that precaution, um, to not have all our crowns and sashes, especially the sashes, out there, and then somebody not compete. Um, and We don't want them out there promoting the pageant. And so that's why I have stopped now. You have to have your fee paid in full. And remember, those ways you can get that discounted on there, just referring somebody. If they get their fee paid in full, if you've already made your full payment, your fee is paid in full, that will be cash money back in your pocket, as I said, to help get your wardrobe, cover hotel, your travel costs, and all of that can be covered with um, those funds that you can earn from referring, selling ads, and referring both the other contestants and for sponsors who are cash sponsors. And for those who are interested in sponsoring, we don't just have cash sponsorship, we also have in-kind sponsorships where you can donate um, products, gift certificates for products, if for your company. That can be go towards the contestant packages, little gift packages, because each contestant does receive a gift package, or for all the winners prize packages. You can even select on a division that you would want your thing. So we can customize the sponsorship opportunities. We have like our set packages, but if you want to sponsor a certain portion of the pageant, you are also welcome to do that. And for those in-kind sponsors, those are our in-kind sponsors who are providing a product or service to to the pageant, to our contestants, or to the winners. Those would fall in that category. And you can actually be specific if you wanted to go for a specific portion of the competition. Say you own a fitness wear company, you could sponsor the fitness portion of the pageant. So you can specify if you want what area you want that to go towards. So before this gets too long, I've been on here over 45 minutes now. Um, so as I said, if you have any questions, you can contact me or watch, put them in that post on the thing, and I will cover them in our next video, which will be done live on Sunday again at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So thank you all who did join and watch. I saw a couple of people pop in and out. Uh, but yeah, as I said, to get those questions answered, please go to that. If you're on Facebook, go to that Facebook event page. As I said, you will find it in the pageant group. You will find it on all of our business pages, and you will find it on my personal Facebook page that has that information, um, the link to go get to that event page where you can list your questions so that I for any additional questions that weren't answered during the discussion. So thanks again for joining us. Everybody have a blessed evening, and I will see some of you on Sunday evening at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the second information session. For those who have missed this session and have some questions that they want to ask that I can answer live, or if you've missed a portion of it and you want to something that wasn't answered and you want to go back and watch it, remember it's always on this YouTube channel on our page, so you can always click on. This one is information session 1, so you can look for that, and you can also, as I said, view this anytime, because it will be on our YouTube channel. Thanks again, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.